Welcome to another Onshape tutorial where we are modelling the resin mood lamp as made by the BryPrep students. So I've logged into my account and you can see that all I have here really is one folder, and I've got a recent file there. That was the last one that I opened, which was one we were working on. But just in case you want to find out how to do this, we'll left click on the folder and then we can left click on the part. In fact, that's a double click to get that opened. You may have noticed that the preview was just showing the sketch. Sometimes it takes a while to update, so don't sort of judge the preview. Being cloud-based, the software will save your work as you're going along, and you can see this is where we left it last time with our base block being drawn. Now, one of the joyous things about Onshape is that it's there to help you do top-down designing. So it gets you to think about how you design something in an assembly as opposed to making lots of individual parts and then putting them into an assembly at the end. It's not quite that straightforward, because you'll see if you look down the bottom of the screen, there is an assembly tab here, and if I left click on that, it's currently empty. But you'll notice that we've got a part studio as opposed to an individual part. So in the part studio, we can create multiple parts, and then we can take those multiple parts and put them into the assembly. So let's create the next part. And we're going to model this one slightly differently. In the last video tutorial, we created the base block, and we created it in a way if we were going to manufacture it. So we started off with a block of material, and then we drilled a hole in the middle, and then we drilled 4 other holes around that hole in the corners. This time we're going to create a new part, and we're going to create it in a single sketch. So let's first of all create the work plane or the work surface that we want to model on. Well, in fact, we're going to pick the top surface of the part we've already done. So if we hover over that, we can see all the edges are highlighted in orange. I'm going to right click on the mouse, and I'm going to left click on new sketch. Then to bring that around, I can press N on the keyboard, or I can right click in space and left click on view normal to sketch plane. So we're looking down on the part that we've already created, and in fact this part would be, when we manufacture it, glued on top of the part we've already created, so we can use that to model from. Now, we could do this in several different ways. We could use our modeling tools. We could just create from the features that we've already got. So let's do that. Let's, instead of using some of the drawing tools to create a square shape and a circle in the middle, let's use this tool, which is the Use Projectile Convert tool, to turn what we've already got into a sketch. So I'm going to left click on that. I'm then going to pick up the 4 outside edges, so you can see it's highlighted in orange as I hover the mouse over it. Left click to select it, and you see it's gone a dark colour, gone black. Do the same on the 2 vertical edges and the bottom edge, and I'm going to do the same on the outside of the centre circle, so left click on that. So if I just hold the right mouse button down and spin it around, you can see that we've now got that sketch created. And that's it. That's simply all I need to do to create my next part. There aren't the corner holes. I don't need those. It's just going to be a block of material with a 10mm hole in it. So let's create that. Let's use the extrude tool. So left click on extrude, and the distance I want is 12mm. So click on that and change it to 12 and hit return. And you'll see at the moment it's got add selected. So if I turn that around, what's going to happen is it's going to turn that into part of our existing base block. We want this to be a new part. So I'm going to left click on new, and you'll see that it's got a slightly different color. So we've now got our kind of blue colored part and our gray colored part. Left click on extrude to confirm it, and we've got that part made. And you can see we've got part 2 here. So let's rename that one. And we'll call that base block center. Now, this part, when we've made it, the base is going to be made up of 3 separate blocks. So what we might want to do is to distinguish between them. So we've got base block center, which we've just created, and we've got the base block at the bottom. Let's rename that. So right click on there and go rename base block bottom, just to distinguish, and then we can have base block top when we create our next one. That's it for this tutorial. We've now created 2 components using 2 different techniques. In the next tutorial, we'll create the next block, and again we'll perhaps use some other tools to show you how you can draw in different ways. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.